The best way to learn how to see your mother differently is to let your kids give their honest opinion about you.
You know what I try to do? I try to sit down with my kids every now and then just to see
what anything I can be doing better.
Your kids have automatic expectations of you that they don't have no clue what they talking about, what they expecting of you until they become parents, and then they just be like, you know what, Mom, let me just say this right now while we here. I apologize.
And it's hard to be a mother when you got to be a father.
Right.
Because nobody should have to be
toot that thing up, mommy, make it roll. Once you pop, lock, drop it for me, girl, get low. If your mama gave it to you, ain't give me shit.
Go ahead.
Welcome back to another
episode of The Dressing Room, where we try.
You tried it. Where we try on new perspectives, one conversation at a time. And
today, go ahead. Today we're talking about motherhood.
In honor of Mother's Day, we thought that this would be a great topic to bring up and discuss, being as though, one, we're both mothers.
Yes. And I wanted to have a real conversation about mothers that I don't think we have enough. We talk about the celebration of mothers. Woo. But do we get in the heart of the things that we privately don't celebrate?
Or we don't talk about. Or we don't discuss.
Yes.
We put under the rug. And then we do the celebration. Voila, oh my God, my mom.
Yeah, Mother's Day comment.
But then we secretly really don't like you.
You know,
we don't like your
actions. Things about you, or haven't healed from things you've done.
Haven't talked about the things you've done. Right. Haven't discussed them, haven't brought them up, kind of just bury them deep and deep inside all the,
padding.
Mm-hmm. I do feel like this is a really good topic, though, because you don't really hear people talk too much about it. When you think about Mother's Day and you hear people discussing Mother's Day, it's always in a positive way. Right. It's always in a good space. It's always a celebration, and we going out, or I'm going out with my kids, or I'm having some time away from my kids. I'm enjoying myself. But then, like I was telling you, you hear about the people that during Mother's Day is dealing with grief. And then you have people dealing with loss, and the parent is still alive. They just don't have the connection that they yearn to have with their mother.
Right.
And so many people have different relationships with that day. But we were specifically talking about how we don't discuss the things we need to discuss even before grief.
Right.
Or loss of a mother. So
yeah, because the thing is, so many things you could discuss while they're here. Once they're gone, you're just left with holding that, right?
And it's like,
and not knowing what to do with it. What do you do with it? Because you can't have the conversation. So now you got to go to therapy to find out, where do I put it now?
Right.
Because I didn't do.
The funny thing is, it's not funny. One of the things that I realized too is some people do want to talk about it. They can't.
I mean, you say, oh, why? Because the other person doesn't want to talk about it?
They want to be able to have that discussion. I'm going to say my generation. I'm going to say people that I know. They want to be able to ask questions or talk or whatever, or bring up things, but there's no safe space. So it's like, I'm just not going to say nothing, because that's not going to end well.
Yeah, and I really don't like that for y'all. I'm so sorry that y'all have to go through that. I don't, and I prided myself on being the opposite, because I know what that felt like, even for me, not being able to bring things to my mother's attention or say the slightest things, because it was going to be shut down. Yeah. And And for me, for my generation, we weren't allowed to have a voice. So a lot of things we wanted to talk about, we couldn't talk about. And even when we got older, because that was
embedded
in us, even when we became grown, it was still like, I'm not even gonna say nothing.
Yeah, I already know.
Or if we did say something, what? So, first of all, why would you ask that now? Almost like if we had a chance to ask it as a kid. What do you mean, why would I ask that now? Why do you ask? Because you wouldn't even listen to me then about. So I'm grown now, but now you still don't want to hear it.
Because now you feel like we should have been discussed that. That's in the past.
And now you're just deflecting because you didn't want to talk about it then or now.
Right.
That's what it really is. But I do feel for y'all that want to have a conversation, and you have mothers that just don't want to have it because of the way it makes them feel. It makes a mother feel Absolutely. Like they didn't do a good job or they were a bad mother.
It makes you feel like you questioning me.
Yeah, you're questioning me. You're questioning
you think I'm
me
a
as a
mother.
Right, exactly. And it's not that. And see, that's that. I want for my generation to look at it, have a new perspective on it. Allow them to see you, allow them to tell you how they received you while they were growing up. Right. Because what you thought you may have been given off,
yeah,
may have came off totally different.
Yeah. And I think people should take that same advice into every relationship that they go into. Yeah. When like even for my generation, when it comes to how you parent or how you in a relationship with your partner, you gotta ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
Even in relationship with your friends, you gotta ask questions because the way you think you showing up may not be the way that you're showing up. You gotta find out because people see you better than you see yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things I say to my mother as I got older that she was like, "Really? You really thought that?" And I'm like, "How did you not think I thought that?"
Right. Yeah.
So we both like,
excuse me?
Right. Like, do you remember my childhood? And we're both remembering it differently. Mm-hmm. And that's funny.
Same household, same address, different things took place.
Or how I saw it, she saw it differently. Or she thought, if I said, well, I just didn't feel like you loved me. I felt like you took care of me because you had no choice. Mm-hmm. She said, and I felt like the things I did was because I loved you the way I did. I thought I was protecting you from certain things. And I'm thinking, I didn't feel protected at all. So,
what's your definition of protection? That's what we need to get to the root of.
And what I started to realize was some of what she did was different than what she didn't leave me. That's one thing. Her mother left her. She didn't leave me, so that was one step. She was one step ahead. She didn't do that thing that was done to her.
I feel like that has been a generational thing too. Like changing one thing and feeling like,
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I didn't do what my mother did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I always had y'all with me no matter what was going on. But you do know what was going on mattered.
I might have been better off if you'd have left.
And that's why I think some parents did leave their kids because they knew where they was going and what they was doing wasn't going to be the best place. But of course, a child can't see that at the time.
Yeah, some mothers know that they're not equipped.
Oh yeah,
they know they're not equipped. But as a child, you still have expectations of them because you're here already. You got a job to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whether you equip, you got to figure it out now. We got to figure it out together. And I think that's why like a lot of moms say like, that first child was like, listen, we grew up together. Because usually, especially if you have your child young, you grew up with that baby. You figured it out and you had some trials and tribulations along the way, but you figured it out. Sometimes I think that would be best if you go ahead and leave. Go ahead and leave.
And sometimes it really is. Or maybe, however it happened, it might have been the best thing regardless of how it happened. Because what I'm realizing, and I asked her earlier, would I be the same me if my mother hadn't done things that she did or did things differently? Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't want to be a different me.
Right.
So maybe everything played out. No, not maybe. Everything played out according to the way it was supposed to in order for me to be who I am. Now, of course, there's things that happen. That's in anything. That's in the childhood, your adulthood. You even make choices for yourself. You don't like, you wish you could go back and change.
Right.
But we will hold our parents to something forever, be angry, and just let that thing control us. But we will forgive ourselves, or we'll move on from the bad choices we made from ourselves.
Yeah.
You know. But do you think how you saw me as a parent made a difference in how you raised your daughter or you're raising your children?
Oh, absolutely.
Wait a minute.
Absolutely.
So what did motherhood look like to you as a child? Because I can give you my base definition, like when I was looking at my mom.
Give me yours first.
Motherhood for me, when I watched my mom, first of all, teach me how watching her and how she was with me would be how she would protect me. Like, did she cook every day? Did she clean? You know, I watched her struggle and going to work and doing certain things, and I'm like, okay, so motherhood looks like these things. Or like even like how she dressed me, because she was very particular about caring for me in that manner, making sure my hair was done, making sure I always looked decent, because I was going to be a representation of her.
Right.
So for me and my mother, even when I looked at my mother, she was a beautiful representation, because I've talked to you about how beautiful, you know, the way she dressed and what she was very into doing her nails. I literally started out wanting to be my mother.
Right.
So
I think most kids do.
It's one of those questions that you like, did I have, like, do you really have a
perspective on motherhood?
Like when you were growing up, did you see motherhood? Did you think motherhood should be a certain way? Well, you ever seen kids have your friends, their mother be a certain way and your mother be different, and you compared it to? Or did you ever want somebody else's mother, or wish that could have been your mother over your own mother?
I never wanted nobody else's mother.
Mm-hmm. Because some people see other people's lives and be like, I wish I had her mother.
I want to say that no. My friends didn't have the best situation.
So you're like, I just stay where I'm at.
Stay where I'm at. But I feel like as a child, one of the biggest things and the funniest things is I knew that I wanted to be young like my mother when I had my kids, because I didn't want to be old. A lot of my friends had old mothers, and I'd be like, oh, your grandma here? And that wasn't their grandma. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can't have that happening. And I don't know if that was good or bad to want to have your kids young like that, but I did, and I did it. Because I don't want to be grandma picking my kids up. So, and I saw that in my mother, because my mother came to pick me up, they was like, oh, that's your mama. I wanted to mimic that. I wanted to be that mom.
Okay.
And yeah, that would be the only thing I feel like as a kid that I looked at like as motherhood that I can say, yeah.
You wanted to show up a certain way as a mother. You wanted to be that vibrant young mother that didn't look like grandma.
That couldn't throw the football.
Didn't wait till they was 45 or 40 years old to have a kid.
Absolutely not. That's the only thing that I can say for sure, that I saw. That's motherhood.
Okay, I mean, I think it is definitely a tough question, because I don't know if we really think about stuff like that as a child.
I know I did.
Yeah.
Except that piece. That was the only piece you got from me. But what did your mother teach you, intentionally or unintentionally?
Oh, wow. Intentionally, she always said, learn from my mistakes. She always said that. She said, I'm not perfect. and I'm going to make some mistakes, and I want you to be better. She definitely did that. Now, and I don't know if this was intentionally, because it's not like she said, come in the kitchen, watch this, you got to do this, but she cooked every day. Mm-hmm. So that could, you know, be a little bit of both. She cooked every day. She was a good housekeeper, like keeping the house clean. Mm-hmm. Even the way, like I said, the way she shopped for us, the way she kept our hair done, the way she took care of herself made me, want to be the same way. So whether she knew she was teaching me those things or not, she was. Right. On the flip side of that, she may have said, don't do this, or when you get in relationships, don't put up with this, or don't do this. As a woman, you should respect yourself, teaching you about respect. But then there was things I saw her do that kind of contradicted that. Right. And unintentionally, I'm sure she would agree that she taught me to stay in a relationship even when it's bad. I learned how to stay in a bad relationship based on the few things that was working out. Based on a little bit of good. A little bit of good. This could be tremendously bad, but he's still doing this, and this, even if this outweighs this. Right. It was almost as if she started to teach me that you need a man. So overlook those things that are unhealthy in the relationship, just to be in the relationship, or just to feel taken care of. Especially back then, like sometimes it was hard for women to live on their own or go out and make their own way without having a partner. And so I learned to just stay in it. Well, if it's food in the house, we got a roof over our head. It's okay if, you can barely sleep at night because you don't know what's going to take place. You don't know what argument, what fight going to break out, whatever. So you live in a distressed situation. But then you got to say, but on the bright side, we do got a roof over our head and we're going to eat them all. Yeah. Yeah. And you take that on. And that get embedded, and you don't even realize it till you get older, and everything you saw, you do. You said you weren't, but something, in you started to do it. But I think the crazy thing in your situation is you didn't do that with my dad. No. But then after that, it was done. And see, for me, and I always explain this. I did take that on. I was not going to do that. I refused because, okay, this is a saying, and I'm pretty sure anybody from my generation can remember. Back then, it would say, I'm not going to say nothing because I want to keep the peace. They didn't do certain things just to keep the peace. We need to keep the peace. So don't say nothing. I'm not even going to say nothing. Just let him talk. Just, And I never could understand that because I'm like, who the hell is at peace though? Who are we keeping the peace for? That's what I'm saying. Because if we're constantly our lives were constantly being disruptive on a regular, we're all like in a constant nervous situation regularly. Who's at peace? Is it just his peace? Because everybody else is living on edge constantly because we don't know when we're going to pack up and leave, or we don't know when we're going to have to watch this whole craziness go down as children. So where is the peace? I kept telling myself, I'd rather be alone. I would rather be homeless than peace look like that for me. Yeah. And I feel like I took that same mentality on, but a step further. Like, this ain't it. Like, this ain't gonna work for me. This don't even make no sense to me. Like, y'all not making it make sense. And your father's mother, she always said, when I met her, she said, I don't care what else you do, you make sure you always have your own. Don't never let no man be able to put you out his house or to control the house. She used to always say that. You know what's crazy about some of these mothers that we date, like the fathers, like the men we date mothers? Mm-hmm. Because Caleb's mother said that to me.
Because I used to be like, I'm going to just ride in the car with him. She said, you need to learn how to drive so you can drive your own car.
That was your grandmother.
She said that to me. And it was like, even though that's your son, it's like, no, you need to have your own shit. You know what I'm saying? And it always stuck with me, even though I felt like I'm going to be a princess. I don't want to learn how to drive. I'm going to have a driver. Now here I am. I swerve in that quarter. Whoa. It's like, no. But yeah, she did say that to me.
So I learned a lot of things from different mothers, actually.
I was
going to different people, different mothers. But she did. That was one thing that stayed with me forever. Like, to be able to control my situation, my living situation.
Have your name on your deed.
And even with her, even with him, don't let him do what he want to do. If he out there in the street, you sitting in here, don't be sitting in here going out in the street too. She used to tell me that. It was like she basically was saying, you know, he out there doing whatever the hell, and you sitting in here. But at the time, I was pregnant with you. She didn't like that, though. She said, no, we're not going to do that. Like, pregnant and all, go on outside, do something. Don't just sit in here, wait for him. Yeah, that's how. And she did not like that. She was adamant, like, I don't like that for you. You know, how do you feel about being a mother? Did you always want to be a mother? I always wanted to be a mother.
I was impressed.
Oh yeah, I wasn't impressed, but I did. I saw myself with like 10 children. I wanted like a lot of kids.
I wasn't that girl. I wasn't like, oh my God, I got at least 2 or 3. No, I wasn't opposed, but I wasn't like rooting for it either.
Right.
Yeah, I think I've always been more so like, now I have to share the attention. For little kids.
Oh, so you. Okay, you was one of them mothers.
Okay. I would say intentionally. I feel like.
See, you ain't got to answer, but go ahead.
You're right. You know what's funny? I think that I get stumped on a lot of these questions because I feel like we talked more as an adult. I don't feel like it was too much discussions as a child. The communication wasn't there as much as a kid like it is as an adult. So when I started thinking like, well, what was an intentional thing? It doesn't come, it's not that it probably wasn't anything, but it don't come to my mind easily like the things I felt like I've been taught as an adult. And maybe because I went looking for these answers. Because you already wasn't really a talker. And then you ain't really that sentimental to be. You know what I'm saying? So
intentionally, I would say, and you, let's just say, I'm gonna bounce these things, and you can say yes or no.
Okay.
So, do you feel intentionally I taught y'all how to be clean, how to clean up after yourself?
Right. Okay. Yeah. You intentionally taught us how to clean up.
Okay. Do you feel like I intentionally or unintentionally taught you how to, feed your kids daily?
Feed my kids?
How to feed, how to show up. As far as cooking and cleaning and all of that. Did you learn those basic things from me, intentionally or unintentionally? Because I feel like motherhood is a demonstration of when we do certain things like cook, because there's a lot of, like, I don't know about this new generation, but cooking regularly, showing you what it looks like to keep a decent household, going to the grocery store, understanding how to financially spend your money where it actually makes sense. I feel like well, maybe y'all learned more of that as you got older, but y'all also would see where we would go to Sam's and then we would go to shopping. And it was basically about strategically shopping and things that. You know what I'm saying? So we strategically shopped at certain
comparing
stores,
prices and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then I'm sure there was a lot of things unintentionally. Well, I don't want to say a lot, but certain
it was
things,
a lot. So,
that you probably learned at different times, because one of the things you said earlier was that with your dad, with Misha's dad, with most men that I dated, I had a certain way of looking at it. And number one, I looked for men that was going to be very protective, and I looked for a man that was going to provide, because that was a number one thing. I need a man that has some money, and he has the capability of protecting me.
Right.
Money did not come from childhood. I think that was just embedded in me, but the protection definitely came from
a lack,
being not protected as a child.
Okay, well that makes sense. I think you kind of helped me out with that question because I was kind of lost. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, one thing I do know that you taught us as kids, well, as little girls, was how to use a condom.
I did.
You had a conversation with us, and that's what I mean by intentionally taught us.
So most of the things were unintentional.
Exactly. I would say it was unintentional.
Watching.
Yeah. But I feel like that was an intentional conversation. I feel like you had more sex conversations with us because of your childhood, because you even let us watch that movie intentionally and told us if things like this was to happen, y'all gonna let me know, type of thing. So that was an intentional time in my childhood that I felt like she did this on purpose, like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it was more unintentional things that happened than intentional. Yeah. I feel like as a mom, when I learned how to do certain things, I'll just put her in the kitchen and let her cook the entire meal by herself. Like, did you rinse the shrimp? Well, okay, now you gonna season it. What you gonna season it with? Because I also learned that if you too hands on and you too helpy, unintentionally I learned that because I feel like my mother was too helpy. Too hands on. So if you help me too much, I'm not gonna retain the information.
Right. You needed to be able to do it.
I need to do it by myself. Because if I don't, I'm gonna be relying on you to come in here.
And I ended up being too on hands mother because my mother was a no hands.
No hands. Look, Mom, no hands. Yeah. So you was real hands on, and now I'm like, I don't wanna. I feel like that sheltered us.
Yes.
It caused us to be very codependent on you a lot, where we still sucking on a titty at 33. It's like, what are you doing?
Right.
But that's all you know. You don't know how to live life by yourself because she always took your hands and put them where they needed to be. Right. So now I watch my daughter, and a lot of things I just throw her, like, you know how they throw the baby in the pool and just see what happened. I'd be like, we
guess he drowned.
Oh shit, another one bites the dust. It's like, nah. But I'll literally say, hey, you gonna make dinner tonight? Okay, you got all your tools here, and I'll sit on the side and just see what happens. But yeah, that would be my intentional.
But you know what's funny is we're having the four y'all. No matter how I did it, I still experienced y'all all differently. Like, Nay learned how to cook because she did watch me cook. Right. So I didn't have to pull her in the kitchen and she wanted to. That's what I'm saying.
But she was hungry. She was hungry. My baby was not
hungry. But you know what surprised me, man, too?
What?
Watching him, when the first time I saw him cooking, I didn't even know he knew how to cook. So somewhere along the line, he was paying attention. Like, you and Misha just wasn't coming in the kitchen doing nothing. Like,
we had other stuff to do.
I don't know what y'all was doing, but y'all didn't care nothing about learning how to cook. Like, y'all just, yeah.
We are official millennials.
I know, but you would have thought it would have been you and Misha that would have been more hands-on.
We had bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, it's just been things they just, they was just more attracted to doing. But yeah,
I think that mothers should still be celebrated for the things that they did get right. I think a lot of times it's easy to notice what you do wrong or what you didn't do or what you missed. But the things that you do get right, that you did decide to take time to change or make sure that didn't happen.
You just made me think of something.
What?
The best way to learn how to see your mother differently is to let your kids give their honest opinion about you. That just hit me.
Yeah.
Let them
because the minute they start tearing your ass into
because think about it. If they really tell you some stuff, and we've experienced that.
Yeah.
And that's why and we've talked about this in other episodes. Just don't take it. It's hard to say don't take it personal because it is personal, but don't take it to heart to where they're trying to beat you up. Listen to them, especially if you got an issue with your mom. I'm sure.
Your kids probably looking at you.
Oh, they got some things.
You know what I try to do? I try to sit down with my kids every now and then just to see
Is
what
there anything I can be doing better?
You know, I do
That's
think
good,
that it's
though.
a healthy thing.
It is.
And I do that because, one, I notice where people along my lifespan, I would never be like this. I would never do that. And I watch their life go right in the direction of the person they said they would never be like.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to learn from other people's mistakes. I'm not saying that word. Listen, I don't know how life might turn out for me. I may not. I don't know. I'm just going to go with the flow. It could go either way, you know? So I try my best to not judge or make it seem like, oh yeah, I would never do that. Because it's something about when I watch people say, I would never do that they give it a year or two.
That thing comes back around so fast. Like, okay, let's see if you just 10 toes. How you handle it. Is you gonna be better than your mom? And they be worse than they hit it. They get it worse than the person they said they would never. But then it's like, but no, this is different. No, it's not. This situation is different though. But because it's the same thing. So I do like a monthly check-in, just to see if it's something. Because like you said, your kids have automatic expectations of you that they don't have no clue what they talking about, what they expecting of you until they become parents. And then they just be like, you know what, Mom? Let me just say this right now while we here. I apologize for all the things that I thought you should have been doing. You should have rightfully been doing each and every Sunday. I apologize. I'm not doing half the shit that I felt like you should have been doing. You know, so I think that my daily check-ins, I just check the air just in case I got to take one out. Because what most kids don't realize is your mother is learning a lot of this as she goes.
And you don't know that as a kid. You don't.
You just think, you see your mother, she's grown. You don't even, you can't even phantom her ever being 5. Kid. So when she talk about childhood, you looking like, what?
And you don't see her. You see her as the, let's say, 20. By the time you really can't see your parents, they in their mid 20s, but almost 30s, right? And it's like, I forgot what I was going to say.
You probably was going to say, you see your mother only from the adult version of her.
Yeah. That went right
That's
up my
how
head.
good I am with my kids. I already knew.
I was about to say that. So you feel like they're supposed to already know how to do this. Not you learning as you go. You don't got, ain't no manual come with this. Ain't nobody tell you that you're supposed to do this.
And you don't realize there was a child version that went through some things.
That's what I was about to say.
That's what I thought you was going to finish.
You didn't, yeah, okay. You don't realize that even though you're looking at a 28, 29-year-old, mentally they're still 16, 18. Yeah. You don't know that. You don't know that just because their age went up every year, that the wisdom never increased. Right. So you expecting something out of them that they don't know. They probably they know just as much as you.
They kept paying a bill. They kept feeding you and all of these things. Even when they had you, they might have no clue. They was going to do what maybe they saw or what they thought was the best thing to do. And whatever traumas they had, if they didn't heal them before they came mothers, they brought them traumas along with them. And now what you see is your mother raising you. You don't see the child inside of the mother that's trying to figure this thing out as she goes. And you don't know about what she experienced at 5 or 10 or 12, 14, all those ages that made her react or not react a certain way. You're just making judgments on, this is not a mother. You're not a mother. You don't, why would you act like this? But I also blame, well, I don't want to say blame, but for people that don't know any better. But if your kids don't know who you were before you became their mother, whose fault is that?
Right.
That's your fault. Why do we wait to tell our story when we about to die?
You know what I think? What's the age that you feel like? What's the safe age that you feel like you should tell them about your childhood?
I'm gonna be honest with you. if I think about millennials, I don't know. I mean, y'all was a little different than the ones now that's talking. They need to know now.
Because I feel like you didn't tell us until we were probably high school.
I know.
Maybe
but there's a part of me that wish
you would have told us earlier.
I had told y'all maybe a little earlier.
Why?
Because only reason why I say that, because y'all had to spend, that means y'all, let's just say, by the time you're really conscious about things, let's just say about 5. Because most people can't remember a lot before 5, right? If you remember 5. But say between 5 and 12, you spent that kind of time wondering, why don't my mother really hug us that much? And I'm pretty sure at some point, one out of the four, 2 out of 4 struggle with that, not receiving affection the way you probably would have wanted to, or me not approaching certain situations with a more sensitive reaction.
You know, I didn't even realize that I wasn't even getting that until I was an adult.
Okay.
And then you know how you get to adulthood and you look back and be like, she didn't give us no hugs.
Well, that's good, because some kids notice that early on.
Yeah, no.
I noticed that early
on. I'm going to say this. It was a lot of things for me. I can't speak for my siblings. That I don't know if I was in my own world or I had my own vision or if it was just me. But even like when you was like, your dad was never home. I'm like, huh. That happened to me a lot. Whether it was you or him. It was the same thing. I never really realized, like, she don't be huggy. I didn't realize that. And I think sometimes maybe because I kind of pushed myself on people, I didn't realize I wouldn't get no love back. Yeah. But I didn't realize that until I was an adult. And I think I came to you. I can't even remember what the situation was, but I think I came to you. Oh, it was about TJ at the time. Was it TJ or was it one of them you was talking to? And I was like, I didn't feel comfortable going out. I didn't want to go out with my friends because I didn't want to leave you home. And you was like, girl, I'll be fine. Uh-oh. I'm glad that with my wig. I'm glad my shit right. But the response was like, I'm going to be fine. Go ahead. Don't worry about me. And I couldn't understand why she don't want me to worry about her. Right. How do I just not worry about her? That makes no sense. And it was like, she don't even have no sympathy. She just don't even. I didn't realize it until that day. I didn't realize as a child I wasn't lovey-dovey. And I think because we did get it from my dad. Mm-hmm. He was very hands-on and touchy.
I mean, your father was too.
And I did feel like one of the things that I knew was going to be missing was the celebratory thing. Mm-hmm. My dad was real, go, go, go. So when he got locked up, I'm like, well, we're not going to get that no more. I did know that you wasn't going to do it. Mm-hmm. So why I'm about to go ahead and work hard if ain't nobody about to celebrate it? It ain't about to be no big thing. So go ahead and get, who's about to do all of this for nothing? Yeah. And I think especially for like me, I got to be celebrated.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I understand that. And that makes sense. It just, even now, I think, like, anything I did when I was younger, I did, like, in school, anything, that wasn't no big hoorah. Yeah. Even being so really good with grades. Okay.
No one cared.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. It was almost like, okay. Like, so... Yeah. I grew up just being like, oh, okay. I don't know.
But I can see how my grandmother probably was that for my dad.
Yeah, because he's just like that too. Yeah. I could see her shouting, screaming, being involved. And that's just who she was. Yeah. She definitely was that person. He's that person. Yeah. And that's why I also say that's why these type of people were also a part of my life. Because the things that I didn't get as a child, God brought me those people that would celebrate me or treat me and do certain things for me as an adult. Like, I didn't really start, and I'm still not a big hugger, but I didn't even start liking to receive it until I met your father and his family. Yeah. Because, they want to hug. You come in and
when you leave.
I'm like, damn, that hurt a lot. Like, and my body wanted to reject that every time. Every time they leaned in, I felt like... So then after a while, I had to lean in with it because I knew it wasn't a bad hug. See, all my body, they say your body records things that happen. So the things my body had recorded as a child, as an adult, it rejected touch like that. Yeah. It's just like, mm-mm. And it would feel so uncomfortable. Even now, it still is. I have to.
You got to breathe in, breathe out.
I do, and some moments are better than others with certain people. Right. I'm still hesitant with most people, but there's certain people that I can do it and it feels okay.
So if you could go back and tell us the information you told us, what age would that have been?
You know, now that you're saying you didn't even know, you wasn't even aware.
You know why I think so?
I don't know.
Because what you didn't give, my dad did.
It was a balance.
And then him not being home, you were always home. So it wasn't like we just could see that it was gone completely. I'm going to say me. Yeah. I didn't really notice that things wasn't going right. I didn't notice that those things weren't taking place until I was an adult and I had to look back. And I was told, like, you do know.
And it was more so like he wasn't at home as much as y'all probably thought. Because if he worked all day, then he came home, changed on, then he was back out. He was gone. Right. He wasn't home like I was.
Exactly.
You know, he
wasn't. Because you were home, we thinking he just at work. Yeah. My dad at work. Yeah. But when you think back and you try to figure out.
But when you start doing the math, you realize he really
and
wasn't.
It's like, what was that under a rock?
Right.
But that's why I used to be like, we were kids. Oh, we were like kids. We was in the kids' business.
Y'all
like
was
having fun.
They were not nosy.
We was building forts.
To see what y'all.
We was not nosy kids. So
and we were good at keeping
us out of all
the adult life. Y'all never saw us argue. No disagreements. Y'all never saw anything that was going on or taking place in our lives that y'all weren't supposed to know ever. Yeah. We never did. And that was another thing we were big on. And then that just kind of after he got locked up, and then I tell people this because everybody always asking, but how did you get with Thomas? You have to understand the psychological thing. Yeah. Your life being turned upside down in 24 hours. And then you have to go from being where I could just be a mother to being both parents. And it's hard to be a mother when you got to be a father. Right. Because nobody should have to be both. Yeah. And I feel like because mothers are so emotional, we got to shift into that other gear. Well, now I got to protect this house because the man is no longer here. Whatever this house comes up against, I got to protect it. And I needed protection. So now what? And I got to pay all these bills. Where there was a partnership here making this happen, right?
Stomach hurt. I mean, I think we might need to take a break.
When you really look, and then the depression kicks in because now this person, whether we were on the best of terms or not, that I had, spent the majority, starting with my childhood at 15 on up to 4 kids and building our life, he's gone. Right. And he's gone for the next, not 2 years, 6 months, 15 years. So I got to start. The way my brain works, I got to see, how do I figure this out? How do I make this happen? And I'm thinking months in advance. Right.
I think people question, how did you get there when they don't understand how the brain works? See, because I would never question you on that today. Because I understand that when certain things happen, you don't know. You just don't. That's why you don't say never.
It's almost like I went into shock.
Exactly. And I think for me, even being where I am now, the thought of that piece being ripped, that's what I'm saying, you making my stomach hurt. Yeah. We need to move on to the next topic.
And that's fine. I just want people to know that it was going into a deep depression. Yeah. You can't really
make decisions that you never thought you would have ever made.
Right. So, and that's how I ended up. I didn't get that far. Okay. I did a few other things. I didn't get that far. No, but nothing
too serious.
And he probably was not he wasn't the worst person, but he wasn't the best person. But at the time, I think he was just somebody I needed for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't even about finding a man that was gonna come in my life to be a father to y'all or to be the best.
But as
a
child,
model,
you feel like if you're gonna be out here picking somebody that's gonna be living in this house with us,
you should have picked somebody better that could provide. Because that could be a better.
What about us?
What about us? And at the time, now that I had to do the math on my choice, and I realized after proper research and some counseling, I chose him for me. He
it was never
my
even
outlet out of my world that I had just been tossed into by myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not saying that you should have done things differently, but somebody in that situation, maybe when you do go out there, if you wind up in that, maybe keeping it separate from your household.
Oh yeah. You know, him
as
even
much
moving
as possible,
in,
maybe.
And definitely there's some things I could have done differently, of course. But like I said, until you've been in a depressed situation or in that situation or any other situation people have been, don't be so quick to say, I can't understand what she going through. You see, because there were several people, and most of these people were was close to me that judged every decision I made during that time. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny. Bye. How things turned out for them.
What is something that your mother did that you didn't understand then, but you understand now?
Well, what I do understand is when she didn't leave the relationship she was in an abusive relationship, and she told me that I stayed in that and I dealt with that to keep y'all from having to experience, either going through, because she said she felt like she didn't have the skills or the understanding of going out, getting things on her own. She had never done all that stuff. So she was like, if I got to be in this abusive relationship, I'll take the beating just to make sure my kids have everything they need. Mm-hmm. So in her eyes, she was protecting us, even though in my eyes, this is crazy. This is insane. Why would you choose this? But once she started to explain her story, and that's why I say I would have maybe told y'all that earlier. I wish she had gave me her story way before I was 40, 50 years old. Because then I could have saw my mother. The minute in a different light. My mother started to explain her childhood. Right. And explain her reasoning for the things she did do when we were children, my heart just shifted immediately for her. And then it's like I wanted to embrace her and go, and because I feel like that little girl is still in there crying and still searching for what she didn't get. And she raised us based on the little pieces that she had. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I didn't understand that as a child. I'm just mad. I'm just upset. I can't understand. Well, that don't make sense. But I understand her a lot better now. We don't always make the best decisions. And then I learned from watching her, and what I know now is that a lot of decisions she made, even when it came to the other men later on, was based on her choosing somebody for her.
It had nothing to do with you.
It had nothing to do with us. She wasn't trying to choose somebody that wasn't good for us. She was just trying to choose somebody that made her feel good, that made her happy. And it was hard for her to do both at the same time. Oh. Yeah. And I just couldn't see that.
We all have to go see somebody.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say, when you're upset with your mom, you're looking at her life from your point of view, from what you think, from what you feel. And mothers, you gotta have this conversation, because the thing about your kids don't know, even if they're grown, they don't know. Sometimes what is it? Because you're embarrassed about decisions you made. Yeah. I'd rather you know what I did or what I went through, and you base how you feel about me on my truth than what you assuming and making up in your head. Right. Because if I give you my truth, now you got to see me through my truth. But until I give it to you, you can only see me through what you notice with your own eyes. You didn't get the backstory, right, of how I got here. And people need that backstory. That's like history. We learn all this stuff about 1864. We read the Bible. We learn, oh, we don't know who our mother is. We don't know who she was as a child.
Right.
We just decided to not like her, be upset with her, because we only have a portion of her life. It's not okay. But if our mothers won't share it, that's all we can do. You can't expect your children to see you differently or to, have a different perspective of you if you haven't shared that information.
Right.
So it goes both ways. They can't see it until you share it. Do you think you do things now, well, how you say you check in with your kids because you want to make sure, do you wish I had checked in with y'all more?
Absolutely.
Right. So that's why you, okay.
Yeah. And I feel like it's more like you said, I feel like what you just explained, like when you go through what you're going through, what I was going to say to the question that I asked you, was something.
I forgot what I didn't ask you because I forgot what you asked me. I'm gonna be honest.
What's something your mother did that you didn't understand then but respect now?
There you go.
I didn't understand why you stay in relationships that's not good for you. From my point of view, it's no good for you. Like this is chaos. There's nothing coming out of it. There's no job, no money. What are you getting out of this? It's nothing of substance because it doesn't look nothing like my dad. Right? Because it doesn't mimic what I'm used to you having. Right. It's like, what is this and why stay in it? Right. And then now as an adult, you realize that people stay in things for what they need at the time, what's making them feel a little bit better with what they're going through, not to serve everybody else. Right. But I do feel like with the question you just asked, as far as like the check-ins and stuff, I feel like when parents go through that downtime or that moment, nobody else matters. Like it becomes a very selfish move. Now, on one end of the spectrum, it's like they're trying to do what the best they can do for them in that moment. And then on the other end, these people that are brought into the world get the axe end of the stick, and their opinion doesn't matter because I can't focus on them right now. I can only give them the bare minimum, which is food and the roof. This guy's here for me. I don't care how bad it is for y'all. So for me, I feel like I do want to see, I would like to have that extra voice, like, what do you feel about your mom, or what do you think we can be doing better, or the household. I do like to do those check-ins because I want you to know that you didn't ask to be here, and I feel like it helps me be the best mother that I can possibly be. And I feel like this too, because even when you said you would like to have told us earlier, I noticed how that can kind of backfire telling kids something too early, because they can't their brains can't rationalize it. Right. Like Damien telling the kids about what he may have did as a child to make a living. They cannot, you are a bad person. And it's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? As an adult, you can understand that. You're not going to look at it that way. As a kid, you go to jail. You're a bad guy, Yeah. And it's like, okay, maybe we can't tell them too soon because their brain's not going to understand it. So I don't even know if I would say that the timing was bad for us. I feel like it came at a time where it was needed.
And I think it depends on the kids. Maybe. Because all kids have a different level of intelligence, And like you said, y'all were kids, but then there's some kids. I was the kid that if my mother had sat me down and told me that, I would have been able to understand it. Yeah. If she'd have told me that at 6, I was that kid. There's a lot of kids that's like, it's more of y'all than it is of us. Let's just say that. So I get it. There's a lot of things you wouldn't want to sit a 6-year-old down or a 7-year-old down and tell them because they might not understand. But for me, I would have rather her told me so I could understand that than to spend the majority of my life not understanding her at all as a mother, or none of the decisions she made, or why she was like she was, why she came off as mean. and distant, and like there was no real love there, like nothing. Yeah. Who wants to see their mother like that? But if she had explained that to me,
and I think that's why you might have needed more of an explanation, because it was so bad.
Yeah, of course.
Where I feel like we didn't need that explanation. I'm not gonna say we. I'm gonna say me. Mm-hmm. Didn't need that explanation too early on, because it wasn't like it disrupted too much. It didn't disrupt anything, because what we didn't get from you, we got from him. What we didn't get from him, we got from you. So it was kind of a balance, and it kind of worked out. But then once that piece was ripped, now we got questions. Right. Well, what's going on? It's not balancing out no more. So now it's the perfect opportunity to kind of, and then the minute you start telling us about who he really was as a man, we like, why you ain't leave that man? Right. But even in that decision as a mother, I still respect it as an adult. Like, even though I said my piece, it's like, I'm still grateful that you stayed. Mm-hmm. I would not have wanted to go back and forth to 2 different households every week. Absolutely not. I appreciated that you sacrificed what you may have felt or how you may have been feeling in that moment for us to keep your family together. And you may not have even been thinking that was your reason, but I'm glad I didn't have to do that. Yeah. But it also made me feel a way when I had to do that with my kid. Right. So the minute I had to do that with Quentin, I said, oh no, we're going to have to stick this out with Naya, because I'm not doing that. I don't want her to have to
go back and forth.
You're with dad on the weekdays, and then you're with mom on the week. No, we're going to have to fake it till we make it, till she hit 18 or something.
Yeah, to give her. Yeah, especially if it's not
bad, or like I'm not getting beat up.
Some situations is very, very toxic regardless. But to what you said a few minutes ago about when women make choices that are selfish, it's just for them, and then the kids get they don't, I guess they don't really get attended to the way. Now with that is well, I'm gonna say for me, if you think about it, the selfish thing and that time of need goes back to that person, the child in them. Right. And children are normally selfish. They want, I want that thing. That's mine. Mm-hmm. So that's why a lot of women choose what they need in a time. They're not thinking about everybody else. Because the first need I need to fulfill is mine. Right. And then unfortunately, and it's not like we're thinking, screw y'all, but I need what I need, because the only way I can continue to even do any of this is I got to fulfill my tank. And even if that tank appears to y'all to be the worst thing, it may not be. It may be fulfilling that thing in her that she needs. It just, and that's her not even thinking from an adult point of view. That's her thinking from the child in her. You know what
and
I'm saying?
I guess that does come from when you do still have that child in you. Because I think about when I went through my phase of, I don't even know if I would call it depression, but I would say my lowest point. Mm-hmm. Once me and him broke up and I was kind of starting back over, getting myself together. One of the things that I knew I didn't want to do was get in a home with somebody that I didn't want to do that. If I'm going to go and be a hoe, I'm going to go be a hoe. I'm going to get whatever I need fulfilled at your house, and then I'm going to go back home. Yeah. I don't want to mix the two.
And but that was based off of that if you hadn't saw me do it the opposite way.
Exactly.
Yeah. So something good came out of it.
I would say that. There's no perfect parent. There's no perfect mother. I feel like mothers do the best they can with what they got, what they know. And I feel like the good thing about it is when each mother can show that they did something a little bit better or went another step. Mm-hmm. Because every mother wants their kid to be better than them. Oh, like we all still learning something. You're never going to find a perfect mom. There's no such thing. Because parenting doesn't come with a manual. But I do feel like when you do become an adult, let alone a parent, a mom, you realize that my mother was doing the best she could. And then you look back and be like, she was doing shit that I'm over here struggling trying to do.
And that's crazy because
you said braid her hair every 2 weeks.
Every one of y'all have had that conversation with me like, Ma, I swear, I don't know how you did it. Like, what you were pulling off with us for, I feel like I'm barely scratching the surface
with one.
So then you think to yourself, I mean, how you saw it before. versus how you see it now.
Yeah, you realize that it's much harder than what you thought it was.
Yeah.
Because you juggling
maybe
bills.
That's why she just went out and found her a piece for her.
Yeah.
Because look at what all she really actually had to do, or
bills,
she did for us.
Hair. And then you know what you realize as an adult too, like, if we all was in sports, how was she gonna be able to come? Because you'd be like, damn,
I couldn't even make all PTA meetings because half of them was on the same night. If I was gonna go to them,
yeah. So you don't realize that she's not coming to our stuff. She can't come see us perform. Or she might not. And then as a child, you feel like, oh, but she with him though.
Yeah, you do. You know, again, back to that.
As a kid, you feel like we feel like we more important.
And you know what? You did until now, because you even say, I gotta feed me, I gotta take care of me, because how can I take care of anybody else before I take care of me?
And you gotta put your
but the way you saw it with me as a child was like,
it didn't look like you was taking care of you as a kid.
It didn't.
It looked like you taking care of him first. He's getting treated well. He's getting stuff. She's going to the store buying him stuff. She always with him. It don't look like this is about you. You don't see it that way. You see it like you doing for him.
Right. Your thing, what you needed, you experienced and you did it in the way you see it and how you respond to it, right? Where what I was doing was based on me and my life and how I receive things. You know, we all see things through our eyes, our experience, or sometimes when we experience something, after we experienced it with somebody else, we can do it differently, or we choose to do it differently. Sometimes we do it the exact. You know how I always tell you when kids grow up in a household, there's going to be, say it's 4 y'all. One of y'all gonna go in the exact opposite way on what y'all saw. Then somebody gonna do the exact thing that they saw, and y'all all saw the same thing. So it could go either way.
It could go either way.
Either way, at any time, you don't know which extreme, which child is going to take, or what they're going to take from what you demonstrated. And you can demonstrate a lot of good and some bad. Which one of those, what things are they going to, that particular child going to pick up and go out into the world with?
Right. You
don't know. It's a gamble. That's why I say, whatever you did with your first deuce, I was telling Nan that the other day. I said, y'all got 3. Feed one this, feed the other one this.
See what happens.
Turn out. Do
it for the black.
You got 3 of them, so let's just see what happens.
I feel like we should all, as daughters and as mothers, give grace.
Yes, definitely.
As much grace as possible. Forgiveness should be definitely on the menu. Because like I said, parenting doesn't come with a manual on how to do it. And every child is different. And then you even think about, like I think about my sister and my brother that have kids that have
autism?
Yeah, with autism. And I feel like that's a whole nother level of parenthood.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
And that's why I say it don't come with a manual. You don't know what you gonna get.
The thing,
you don't know what's coming out of it.
People are struggling without their kids having autism. So imagine when you add that or any other type of disability to it. Then what?
And now you got to figure that out. So
and you wasn't grateful for what you had, or even a parent. I'm just be grateful for yourself. Just be grateful. That's what.
And my thing is with those type of parents, right? They gotta try to figure something out that they've never seen.
Because he didn't.
They gotta start
like
from
they grew
scratch.
up and they saw me.
That's a whole nother level of something. Now you got some basics, but you can't even feed them the same.
You know they don't eat the same.
Yeah, they take that shit and throw it at you. That's an ass whipping in regular community.
Yeah, so now you gotta especially if that's the 3rd child and the other 2 you disciplining them a certain way, and then this one come along and do something and you gotta hold back because you gotta pull your belt. Your natural response would have been to but now it's like, oh, he don't get it, so I can't do that.
Right, that's a whole.
Oh, can I
have a whole nother level of respect for them? Because I feel like you
playing with me because what I know that you know.
Yeah. And it's a thin line, between, you gotta give grace, but not ignore the truths.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm one of those people that I do want to give people grace. At the end of the day, like you said, everybody's just figuring it out. But what happened is what happened. And I say that because it's like I experienced you this way. That's what took place.
Right.
Now your reasoning behind it, I can give you grace because now I understand why you made the decision.
Right.
But what happened still is what happened.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. That don't change what happened. And now it can change how you feel, because like I said, when my mother had our conversation, it changed how I felt about her. And it's not that I hated my mother, because I didn't hate her.
You didn't understand her.
I didn't understand her, and there was a discomfort when it came to my mother, because I felt like, how do a mother bring her child in the world and just let things happen and don't protect her? Like I felt like motherhood equaled protection. You are my mother. You carried me for 9 months. Why would you let me come here and now just throw me to the wolves? That don't make sense to me. Animals don't even do that. I'm telling you, as a child, that was my thought process.
I think that's every child's thought process. And it just looks differently in different stages. And I think when you do have your moment or your time comes, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, why am I being, second? Or why am I being, everybody has their own way of feeling neglected. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that be the thing. Even when you feel like so strongly about what your mother did, you can still turn around and do it just in a different way to your own kids and not even realize that they feel the same way about you that you felt about her, and you may not even know it because it wasn't an intentional behavior.
Oh yeah, definitely. We do a lot of things unintentionally, definitely. But it boils down to having conversations. The conversations are needed.
Because I would even say, even when you told me about your story, it does release a certain type of it releases the expectation on your mother, because you realize she's a human being just like me. She goes through stuff, and then it's easy to have conversations from that point on too, because it's like I could talk to her about this, or I can. She's regular. She's not no adult. She's a person. Because as a kid, when you're mom, mom is, but when mom becomes normal, like no, but when mom becomes a friend, I would say, it's like, okay, cool. So she did stuff too, and she's not perfect. You gotta know that your mother's not perfect. Mom is perfect. She does everything right because she expects me to
mom. She's supposed to do everything.
She don't leave a piece of paper on the floor. She cleans every dish thoroughly. The bathroom is perfect. Everything she do is perfect. So when you see your mother, you see somebody perfect. But when your mother tells you her story, you see, okay, she's perfectly imperfect, just like I am.
Absolutely.
And now we can relate to. Now I feel like you can relate to me, because if I come to you with a flaw, I feel like I might be condemned because I only see you in this perfect light.
Right.
Because that's all I know.
Absolutely.
But then once you start telling me about little stuff you was doing, I said, oh, this trick.
Wait a minute.
Like, wait a minute, this huzzy. Yeah, but
I remember one time when I became a mother, Misha was a baby, and I put on this dress. My mother said, you're a mother now. You can't wear dresses. You can't be wearing dresses like that and going outside like that. And the first thing my brain did was,
I know you.
I know. I remember her in Daisy Duke's, butt cheeks hanging out with the wedges on and the bush. Girl, bye.
Tell me what I can't wear. Oh, because you're such a great mom. You be ready to clap back, man.
I said, she gotta be kidding me. Do she not remember? I was there. You do know I was there with you, right?
You gotta let people discover their outfits on their own. I know it was a few outfits I put on, you probably was like,
oh, Lord. No. And then you see that, though. But then you be like, I'm not gonna say nothing. I had my days. If she like it, I love it.
That's what you dumbass. That's your way to tell nasty ass whore. I mean, if she like it, I love it.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a certain level of saying your piece about something without judgment.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, especially talking to your kids, you be like, You know, you got your nose turned up. Like at that same age, you didn't have your same ass out. Yeah. But I do feel like there's a way to bring it up, and I'm only saying it because I've learned it. I've gained some skills and tools over my days, where it's like I can bring it up in a way where I'm not telling you what to do. Right. I'm just giving you my advice, and I'm also saying I was just like that. You know what I'm saying? But where I am now, I see it differently, and I think that works for me, even with my daughter now, with certain things like she wanted to wear long nails. But she mimics a lot that I do, so it's short. You know, she don't have a want to claws and all out, and so I'm just like, okay. But I'll tell her, yeah, I think that this is easy. I'll give her reasons why I feel like this makes sense. Right. Yeah. Because I feel like if you give me reasons on why that makes sense, then it's like, okay, you know, you is right. I can type with these. Right. I can button my clothes up with these. If you gotta do, you know, one of these, you could do it. I can still zip my zipper up right. Good. I ain't got no hassle. I could take the tissue and get it good. Or the wipes. You know what right. You know, when you have kids, I started to realize when you have kids, you got these long claws, you get to poking them in the neck, and then they all stuck up because you. Yeah. But you know, I give her reasons on why this makes sense, and it helps. I'm not saying never, y'all. Right. But I feel like it helps just a tad bit. Yeah. But so being relatable, basically what you just said is one of the best things too. Having the conversation and letting your kids know I've been there. Kids love to know, but you know what, son, when I done some things, I did this, it's no different. Let me give you some advice. Based on where I've been. Yes. And then you immediately receive it differently. Yes, but when it's just you judging, why would you go out and blah, 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 blah. And then, well, I'm that mother, if I'm listening to their father say some stuff like, he ain't never, excuse me? Well, look at the pot calling again. Hey, well, if it isn't the pot. But I understand where you're going, but the best way I've learned to get through to children or anybody, even adults, is to be relatable. Yes. If somebody has an issue and they're going through, you be like, well, okay, when I went through that, this is blah, 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 blah. But if you ain't never experienced, you just judging, girl, you need to leave, excuse me? You can't give somebody really good advice, especially if you started out with, you need to, number one. Let's start there. Absolutely. But especially, as a mother, there was so many things I had to do differently because of what my mother did do. So I chose to do differently. I had already put it in my head that I would be different. And some of those things I didn't do differently, or I didn't get better at until y'all were already grown, because some stuff that I needed to learn, I didn't learn till y'all was already grown. Yeah. Even like communicating. Yeah. Better. I didn't learn that like what, yesterday? Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I learned that silence is not always about shutting people out or wanting to shut people out or in a form of abuse. It's more about protection. Because sometimes I was listening to something the other day, because if I would get into a situation or a conversation where I felt like I needed to stop, in that moment, that was about me protecting what I was feeling, or maybe where I was going to go with. So when people shut down and need to walk away, the only problem, and I didn't have this, was that to say, I'm going to need a minute. Because at first I would just get up and walk away, shut the door, and y'all knew not to bother me. But if I had known better at the time, I would have explained what I was feeling, and that right now I cannot continue to talk to your ass with you, because I need to go and deal with what's going on here, and then I'll come back. But then I learned how to do that, and it's not easy when you first start, because then you like, I'm gonna need a minute. And you do know that even once you grasp that concept and you know it, you may not always do it. Oh no, because sometimes situations get the best of you. and you just get up and you walk off, and then you come back. Or you send a text, or you do something, but you may not always have it all together and be level headed enough to do it the way you know how to do it, or you should do it.
I think some moments call for get up and walk out.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't, you might not have said it. You might have just punched somebody in the face. I do feel like sometimes that silence means I gotta go out this door quick,
immediately, and
cool off, and then I'll come back. Ain't no time to say you can't. So you just have to know your body, and if normally you communicate well, a person knows, oh no, they just needed to go get some air, So.
Then she'll be back. Don't worry about her. Give her some time.
But one of the, I don't know if you had something else to say.
Oh no, about the clothes.
One of the last things I was going to say is I had an experience the other day, and so many things registered in my head. And your father, we was talking on the phone, and he said, you talked to your mother lately? I said, no. I said, I called her a couple of times, but she didn't answer. I said, but that's just, our relationship. I'm getting used to it. I mean, I've gotten used to it. I just let her have her space, and I'll try again in a couple months. And then he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like that you're going through that. And immediately I had to how you feel the tears coming on, so you and he's not even in front of me, but I had to push him down because I didn't want him. He's not good at hearing me cry still.
Yeah.
So I didn't want, and he was at work, so I had to push it down. But then what kicked in was your grandma Peaches. And I said, she was that person I could still call. Mm-hmm. She was that mother figure I could call, but not even having her to call now. Mm-hmm. And it registered that she's gone.
Yeah.
And I can't call her even in a moment that I'm feeling some way about my mother.
Yeah.
So I don't have her. I can't always get my mother. That's few and far, like maybe twice a year it feels like. And I think that's a lonely place to be too. Yeah. To know you have a mother, but you don't have that relationship. Mm-hmm. And when you've had that relationship with somebody else, but now they're gone, it's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah. Because now that's another emotion I got to carry around as a woman. Mm-hmm. And then try to not let it take over.
Right.
Because, if there's moments that we're all together and if y'all bring her up, it's like, so whenever I do go silent, a lot of times that's what it is too. Yeah. Because I learned as a child to take my tears and all of that and then. Yeah. So, yeah.
And it's funny because you said that, I felt that way when I was with Damien. It's like, I don't want to take away your shine, but I'm feeling something. And it's like, you battle with, do I bury this or do I just let it be what it's going to be? Do I just allow myself to feel regardless? Like, should I have to hold back my feelings because of the people around me and what's going on?
Do I hold in my tears to protect everybody else? Because there were times, even when your father got locked up, there was times when I was younger, I was bawling in the inside. Yeah. But I couldn't cry in front of y'all.
What is that about? Why we don't cry in front of our kids? Is it because we feel like we're going to look weak? Or we don't want them sad?
We don't want to I didn't want y'all to be sad. I didn't want y'all to be sad. And now, and two things. I'm going to speak for myself. I didn't want y'all to be sad. And then if your kids are looking up to you,
you got to show up as a strong
person. Be the protector, and you sitting around crying, and that's
we're fucked.
Then your kids is like, well, who's gonna care? And she's breaking down.
Yeah.
And she's losing her.
I feel like it's such a catch-22 because the people in your life that are your mother figures or mentors, you don't see them cry, so they just give off strong black woman.
Yeah,
a strong stalk of broccoli. Like, I would say, well, I've seen you cry more times. I've been spending more time around you or whatever. But then I got Miss Powell. Never seen it. She get them in. She up 5 o'clock. She doing it. She got to work. She got to do dance. She got kids. She got to drop them off at acting practice. all of these things, and then turn around and do it again the next day. And you know, you also got a relationship, you got a marriage, you got to maintain, you got all of this. So it's just like, oh my God, how do you balance all of this?
And not cry.
And not cry. And it's like, it's probably she do. I just never see.
We never get to see.
Yeah. Then, you know, when I talk to Sean is a whole nother level of, I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, another level.
A whole nother level. She even talk about death differently than I've ever heard anybody talk about it. She said, I've been in a room with people that has passed over plenty of times, and it's actually a beautiful thing to watch. Like, someone take that and you can actually see the spirit. Like, the way she talks about it is almost like,
she's a Capricorn.
Yes. It's like, what is wrong with you? But she said, I don't see it the way, when I was telling her about my grandmother, she said, I don't see it the way everybody else sees it. It's a part of life, girl. Everything is just is.
It just is.
It just is with her. It's not a, I'm so sorry. It's, girl, that's life. And it's like, well, damn. You know, not in a bad way, but she always gives me, that's something about her. She always gives me this wild, different perspective on how to look at something that I thought was so devastating or tragic. Even down to like when I was fighting the case, the court case or whatever, and I told her about it. I'm worried. And she said, girl, like that little judge. Like she said something. She's like, we still got money to make. Like, girl, listen, if they're going to come get you, they like, she has this different way of looking at things, and she always has a complete different perspective than anybody else that I know. And I just be like, yeah, what are you made of?
And but it's liberating. She done been through, and then things she's learned, like that thing I sent you today. That right there blew my mind. That's one reason why we also do this podcast, because we learned that there's so many different perspectives. And you can stand on something and feel that way till you hear something
somebody else like, oh, damn, I ain't think about it like that.
And the next thing you know,
now that last perspective is gone.
It's gone.
Almost like an outfit. When you get in the dressing room and you put something together and it's a badass fit. This fit me. I don't want to change it. And then here you come. Try this one on though. Just let me see. God damn, dog. Nah.
Yeah,
have me the heels.
Yeah. That's gonna hit with that hat.
Yeah,
right.
Put that hat on. Yeah. And then you're gonna do gold earrings. Same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna close this segment out. This was a great topic.
It was.
I enjoy having the conversations about appreciating mothers and just, you know, giving them grace. Mothers asking for forgiveness and offering that to them, and vice versa. I feel like we all have our days, our good days, our bad days, our in-betweens as moms, and we're all just trying to figure it out as we go. So, happies. Please forgive me. Give me grace. I'm a mother. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And I hope you all enjoy your day today.
Happy Mother's Day.
We will see you all on the next episode. Next Sunday, 7 p.m. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video before you get off this video. Okay? So go ahead and do it now. We're going to give you some seconds. All right. We'll see you on the next video.